Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Loving what we're going to do today. We've talked to her before and got so much insight on interior designs and what we can do to freshen up our living space or workspace and how her whole process works when she works with someone. Today, we're going to look at what she did for one of her most important clients, herself. Apparently, she moved into a new place and had to redo some things in there, and we're going to take a look at that. And she's back with us. Sandy Schuster is here. How you doing today?
I'm good, Steve. How are you?
Very well, very well. This is unique because we get to get inside your head, not only further defining your style, but putting it into action. So before we
Right.
get anywhere here, as our professional of the year, how did this all begin? Now you have a new place as of how long ago?
I moved in 4 weeks ago.
Ooh, okay.
So
This is
I'm
very
I'm just
fresh.
now I'm having wallpaper installed. So if you hear my dogs bark, they're barking at the installer. But I wanted, people always ask me what's my design style. And kind of has as I've been going through decorating my home, I I kind of nailed some things down.
And let's just say that your design style doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be that when you work with a client. It's what they're looking
Exactly.
for. Sometimes a little of your influence may come in if they're good with that, but it's really about what they want. And this time it's about what you want.
Right. Yeah, it's always about what the client likes. But
Sure.
people always ask me, so I thought, well, let me just share what I've come up with.
Yeah, so cool. All right, let's do that.
Okay, let me share my screen here. So yeah, a lot of people ask me, what is my style? So I've come up with, I'm not just one style. In fact, I'm probably other styles, but I'm Grandma Coastal, which is mixing new with the old. I love doing that. It involves a neutral palette, large uncovered windows, curated antique pieces. I'm also eclectic. I love to mix patterns, textures, and colors. And then I'm also biophilic, where I like to incorporate really natural elements and plants into my design. So I thought I would just share just some things that I've done. I've only lived here 4 weeks, but I'm the kind of person that I got to get my pictures hung up the second day I'm here.
This is so interesting what these are called here. Grandma Coastal would have never came up with that title. And biophilic. Um, that would be me. So I'm going to remember that one to use that one. And of course, eclectic. And eclectic you can define in many different ways.
I
Uh,
know, I know.
how do you
It's
feel
so
about
broad. Yeah.
how do you feel about being the grandma coastal?
I love it. This house is an old house and there's some old elements in it, but I've also mixed some real modern things into the mix. So
Cool.
I don't mind being Grandma Coastal. I'm not
And
a grandma, but
I'm not a grandpa. Um, Coastal, does that mean you're by the coast or that's just the name that's given to it?
I think it's the mixing of the natural elements in it. I'm not sure. Again, it's very broad, but yeah, I'd like to show you
Hmm.
some examples.
Please, let's do it.
Okay. Let me see if I can get my screen to go forward. Okay, so the first element of Grandma Coastal is mixing traditional with new. This is not a picture of mine, but it's one that I found on Pinterest. And notice they have some really, traditional chairs, but it's mixed in here with the ceiling. I don't know, just with modern vibes. And so this is actually my great room when you walk in. And this is actually a table where I be seeing my clients and showing them my designs. But the home itself is very traditional, but this table is very modern, and so are
Hmm.
the chairs.
Hmm.
So that's an example of mixing modern with the old, and then obviously the old radiators here, and then kind of a new looking table with a kind of mid-century modern lamp.
It's funny how it all works because the first thing I saw, aside from that table and the chairs being modern, was the radiators. I don't know why
Yeah,
my brain goes to that because I guess it defines. the age of the home or the charm that goes in, and the molding is
Right.
quite impressive.
Right. Yeah. So, and there's some biophilic in here, the plant features and faces are actually biophilic as well.
I want to
Um,
share what you opened my eyes to in the past. Biophilic. So you have the plants on the table in a pitcher, looks like.
Mhm.
Um, but you also have it on the wall above the radiator to the right, whereby it's not an actual plant or not an artificial plant, but it's a representation of a plant. So therefore, we're still mixing in that fauna kind of feel.
Right, right, right. And that's kind of there's mirrored leaves on that.
Yeah.
So,
So it doesn't have to
yeah,
actually be a plant, to get that
right,
that vibe.
right. And then Grandma Coastal also, this is a picture from the internet, has a neutral color palette. So this is my entryway, and it was a really dark color, so I painted it Soji white from Sherwin-Williams. I just love that color. Just made it more neutral. Used a natural fiber in the area rug,
Hmm,
and then the plants. I mean, this doesn't get a lot of light, so I used some artificial plants. A lot of people ask me that. Can you use artificial plants? Yes, you can.
sure.
Um, but this is another kind of really, I made this look a little bit more neutral, but then I added in some eclectic feel with the patterns and textures in this scene.
It's This is even just this one entryway is a testament to how every little thing matters, right down to the pillows, right down to uh, even the vase on the where the door is.
Right.
And I just noticed this, the panes on the door. Uh, Interesting door, by the way.
Yeah. Those that's actually wallpaper for windows on the door. So it gives me some privacy, but I can still see out and see and the light comes in.
I did all I'm thinking is contact paper, so they call it wallpaper for
For
for doors or windows.
windows.
Wow. Wow. See, you learned something. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
really nice. Very inviting.
yeah, yeah. So another element of Grandma Coastal is large uncovered windows. And I think that's maybe an element of older homes, but this is in my home here. I've got three big windows and I have shades that I can pull down, but I left them open. I didn't put any
Mm,
window treatments on them. And again, you know, the molding and everything you can still see.
yeah.
And again, my biophilia, this is a southern exposure. So my plants do really well here. It's another picture of it.
Wow. Again, the molding, you inherited something very beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing, and I don't know if it's the way the light is playing it, but there's a very slight texture on the walls. What's going on there?
That's an older pattern that they used in Victorian homes. And every time I have drywall work done, I've watched them do it. They throw a rag at it in a certain way and an angle. Um, and it's a really beautiful texture. In fact, to put wallpaper up, I'm having my walls sealed now to make them smooth so we can put the wallpaper on. But yeah, that's just kind of the texture of this older home.
So are you putting wallpaper on these walls or other walls?
No, I'm putting wallpaper that goes up my staircase and in my bedroom.
And
So,
they have that texture throughout the home.
right. Yeah.
So give me that again, because I love learning how things are done. So they take a rag. What's on the rag as they throw it on the drywall?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they have it's a wet rag, but they throw it a certain way, an angle. It's really an artistic.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Wow. Yeah, it is, and it's not like overdone. It's just a little bit of texture going on there. Interesting. Wow.
Right.
And I would imagine, if you want a smooth wall for wallpaper to sand that down, doesn't seem like it would be a lot of work.
They skim it with a plaster so there's no sanding and dust. So they just kind of
Oh,
fill it in.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Even easier.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So another element of Grandma Coastal is adding curated antique pieces, and I love to shop thrift stores, antique stores. Um, so this is in my kitchen, and I found this. I've had this cabinet for many years, and I painted it. And so that's really fun bringing that into this home. And then the light fixture, I found this at an antique store. It's really beautiful. And I paid less for it than I would if I would have bought it brand new. It cost me a little bit more to have it installed, but again, and then the older table, I actually found that at the Goodwill.
Oh my gosh.
Um, but and then this little turtle table. So these are some things that I've incorporated, even though I've got some modern things in my style. Also have incorporated some antiques into my style.
Let's go back to that Goodwill table. Uh,
I'm waiting for chairs, by the way.
it's a testament to what you can find if you shop around. If you told me that you bought that at one of your distributors that you work with, and I would have believed that as well. Like it's a beautiful table. You never know
Yeah,
what you're gonna find.
yeah.
Wow. Do you
Yeah, the
remember?
chairs that I got to go with it, they're upholstered and they've kind of got a real traditional look to them.
Okay, so to confirm, there were chairs that went with that, but you're having them reupholstered. Am I hearing that
Actually,
right?
I'm buying brand new custom upholstered chairs.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. That
yeah.
gotta ask that table, what did that go for at the Goodwill?
Maybe $75, maybe 50. I've had it for a while. I had it in my
Wow.
garage and I thought I'm going to bring it out. I did paint the top to
Wow.
go with the color scheme in here, but
Really nice.
yeah.
Yeah. It perfectly fits and it seems to be the perfect size too.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Okay, so then eclectic style, mixing patterns and textures. I mean, this is a real eclectic. I mean, people, and this isn't my photo. Again, I found this on the internet. Um, this is another example of eclectic style mixing patterns. And then this is in my front room. Again, there's lots of pattern in here, but I purposely did the backing and the shelving to kind of mirror
Hmm.
this design in my draperies. I love this coffee table with the pattern in it. It's easy to move around, it's lightweight. The pattern in the area rug. And then I have lots of pattern and color in my pillows.
What
So I get, so yeah, go ahead.
I just find interesting is if you put all that stuff in front of me, but not placed or on the wall, I would look at it and say, what is she doing? Look at that pattern. Then we got this one. Then we got that one. Then we got this one. For me, it would be like pattern overload. Seeing it here, it's beautiful. It wonderfully works
Yeah,
together. It's just fun, classy. It's got a vibe, got some movement to it. It's not static. Really, really nice.
yeah. So so Grandma Coastal, eclectic, and biophilic. So that I kind of, I guess as I'm looking around my home, that's kind of what I'm combining. And then the Grandma Coastal includes the traditional, like the wallpaper I'm putting up the stairs is a damask print, which is very traditional. So anyway, I just thought it would be fun to share
Yeah.
some of the things that I've
Well,
done.
that is that. I feel like we got a privilege here going behind the scenes to see what makes you tick because we've seen some of the great stuff you've done for others. What's left in your home? What's on your action to-do list?
The wallpaper, I'm still waiting for furniture in my bedroom. Furniture in my office, it's still not quite put together. The dining room chairs, um, some backsplash in my kitchen, but mostly, I feel like it's a place where I can bring clients and it's put together. Of course, I will keep changing stuff and adding to my home. I'll see something and I'll say, oh, that would look better instead of what I have. And yeah, but I
Uh,
think your space, just making it yours is really fun.
is that a challenge for you where when you're shopping, you have to push yourself away? When you see something, it's like, Do I really need it? But it would look really nice. But do you have to weigh the options before you buy it?
Sometimes I guess it's been really fun moving in because there's a lot of things I needed. So I was just like, that works. I'm gonna get that. But yeah, then I'm gonna have to pace myself.
Hmm. Was your style similar in your last place?
No, I had a little bit more of a modern mid-century vibe. The home was a little bit different. It was a little Spanish home. So the ceilings weren't as high. There wasn't all it had really great molding on the floor, but not, it was just different. But my style also changes. So, but I think I trend towards traditional and more transitional. I love to mix the old with the new.
So would you say that this place now is more you?
Yeah, it's definitely me.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
your last place had a Spanish influence. That's all good, but there's only so
Mm.
much you can do. You have to carry on that influence. You can't just completely abandon it because it might not look right, adding something else in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And this
Um,
home was also bigger. My other home was really small.
okay. Oh, all right. Can I ask why you decided to move?
Oh, it's kind of a long story. I was in this little house because I wanted to expand it, and getting the permitting through the city of Denver um was taking way too long. So I actually this is a home I've had for many years, and I was renting it out. And I just
Okay.
decided I want to move back into it and really
Oh, cool. Okay.
make it a place where I can bring my clients.
The permit thing, I'm in the New York area. I get
Yeah, they
it.
find every little thing that you got to do before they'll even consider approving
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, unless you want to throw the money, and I don't mean bribing or anything. I remember selling two houses back where when I bought the house, the family there had a shed and it was tucked away in the corner. You can't have the shed in the corner according to the covenants. So before I moved in, they put the shed on PVC pipe and rolled it to the center of the lawn. I was just sitting there. So I was able to move in, no issues, permits, whatever. So I got a
You
bunch
moved it
of
back?
with a bunch of friends and pizza and pushed it back. And there it stayed. There was no issues whatsoever until I wanted to sell. And I didn't want to do the whole thing over again. So I went to the town, had to go to one of those town meetings and stand up there and say, yes, I want to get a permit, a variance to keep it where it is or put it where it is, $500, and you're done. So yeah, it's a process. It's always a process.
Yeah, yeah. And it changes all the time. It doesn't stay the same.
Yeah, fortunately, you only deal with a little bit of that, I would imagine, in your work, where it's not like you're doing construction. You might make recommendations of changes and things like that. Um, did you find buying these items for this place was any more challenging than when you're working with the client?
Well, a lot of the items I'm buying bought and have I'm buying are from my suppliers that I'm very familiar with.
Hmm.
So, I've always have had a sense like, when I move into a bigger place, that's what I'm going to put in my space. So I used my suppliers, which made it really easy. Because, I do a lot of shopping for my clients, and I shop for myself while I'm in the process.
Goes back to the previous question where you have to, it's like the kid in the candy store. You got to push yourself back, like, no, 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 I don't need that pillow. Yes, you want that pillow. No, I don't really need that pillow. But it must be fun having an eye for that kind of stuff where you can see like that, like a table at Goodwill. I'm getting that table. I'll be using that at some point, and you
Mhm.
can't pass up the price. I mean, my gosh. Um, have you bought stuff off of places like Facebook Marketplace?
No, but I've sold a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplace. You don't get top dollar for it, but I have some friends that have bought some really cool cabinets and have painted them, repurposed them into kitchen island. So yeah, you can find a lot of
Yeah.
nice things.
Yeah, you don't have to spend a lot. Depends on what you're buying. My claim to fame is artificial plants. Anytime I'm looking for something, it's always been on Facebook Marketplace, $20 here, 30 there. I've gotten, and they're all beautiful. Maybe a little bit of dust, wipe them down like it's
That's good
new.
to know.
Oh my
That's good to
gosh.
know. Yeah.
I've even gotten, I had in my last place, a very high ceiling, and I got a 12-foot plant, like 10-foot plant, artificial. I think maybe I paid $35 for it. The biggest challenge was
Yeah.
getting it home. That was it.
Those things are expensive.
Oh my,
Yeah.
oh God,
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah.
hundreds of dollars. Um,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued about the way you describe different styles. What are some of the, can you give a few, like Grandma Coastal kind of makes me laugh, but it describes exactly what you were talking about.
Mhm.
What are some of the other names for some of the other styles that are out there?
Boho, contemporary, modern,
Is there one for,
modern vintage. Modern vintage is another name for Grandma Coastal. I guess Grandma Coastal really just sticks out. Maybe that's why I use that term. Um, there's a style where you use really dark, moody tones. I forget what that's called. Avant-garde. Um, I'm drawing a blank.
what about Farmhouse? I hear that one turn around a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's not as popular as it used to be, but it's still it makes sense in some places, and it's a style too that I love as well.
Hmm.
In fact, some of
Is
my elements could be kind of farmhousey. Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking back, I could see that, you know. Um, what about minimalistic? Simple. Is that still a thing? I know that was kind of big a couple of years ago.
I have clients that want that. In fact, they use that word a lot. And sometimes they mean different things by it. Sometimes they mean I really want to make sure that it fits in my space better and it's not cutting off my flow of traffic. Some of them that means minimal artwork, or if the artwork's on the wall, it needs to be maybe one thing, real simple. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
people are still using that. A clean look. There's so many ways to describe style. It's just like your clothing. There's just so many different styles, and yeah, Art Deco.
Hmm. I find that when I moved, it turned into minimalistic because I just purged.
Because you didn't have anything.
Kind of like, yeah. It's I got rid of stuff, put stuff in storage, but I started from the ground up, which I guess was better because you realize that you don't really need all this stuff around. And whatever supports you. I have pictures and things like that. Some art, don't overdo it. Probably could use a little bit more. Um, but the point that I found after going from a house to a smaller place, big house to a smaller place, was you don't need a lot of stuff, when you really
Right. I
scale it
think,
down.
yeah, you need the things to help you live in your space the best you can, but after that, if it's not really using it, then you shouldn't have it.
Yeah, yeah. Or put it in storage or wherever. Storage could be your garage, and
Right.
slowly bring it back. I missed that. I
Right.
missed that picture on the mantle. Oh yeah, we still have that. Let's go get that. Put it up there, and um, it was very cool looking at this in a different direction as we did today. And thank you for showing us your place.
Yeah.
How do we connect with you? How do we find you, Sandy?
You can see my website at roomsbysandy.decoratingden.com, or my email is sschuster@decoratingden.com, or my phone number, 720-885-0019.
And I would imagine you're available even if somebody just wants to have a quick conversation to see if what they're looking for is what you do and maybe if it's a right fit.
Yes.
Excellent. Sandy, thanks for
Yeah.
being here today. Thanks for showing your personal side. It was very cool.
Yeah. Thanks. It was fun.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.